Welcome back to Overdunk, everybody. My name is Zoinks, joined here as always by Bridget, and I've somehow messed up the intro already. This is, of course, your favorite competitive Pokemon Unite podcast. Don't worry, the title has not changed. But yeah, we are your two hosts bringing you this content. I almost want to restart this recording. This is crazy. Bridget,
Yeah,
how's your week been?
nah, we're going for it.
It's
Pretty good.
staying in.
Yeah, I was like, you're way too deep in. We like have to keep going. You maybe have like
Exactly.
10 seconds there to cut it, but it's gone. My
Mhm.
week's been good. New map on
New
Hit
map?
MOBA Pokemon Unite has been very, very fun. I was going pretty hard on Thursday through like Saturday evening, and then
Sweet.
finally have been touching grass and I guess like working at my job, since. So haven't played it much since the work week, but
Okay.
I do plan to play a lot more this week.
Sweet.
So it's
Yeah,
been
I
good.
think my pacing is around the same as you. Hit it pretty hard the couple of days right after. When the weekend came around, I had a few other obligations that I had to get to, so I didn't play as much, but definitely playing a lot more Unite than I have been recently. I don't know about you, the week leading up to the Groudon patch was really tough to convince myself to play the game because it's like, oh, I just want to play with the new toys. Like I don't know why. I have a hard time finding a reason to log in and play. But now that we have Groudon Map out, so exciting. I'm having a blast with it. It has been a really, really good time. So for those of you wanting to know what we're going to be talking about today, obviously a lot of discussion around the new map, all the changes to the game, which came with, to the surprise of us, I think, a pretty huge patch as well. We didn't know it was coming when we were recording the episode. I think we learned recently after. They always put those messages out pretty late, but we did have a patch to update the game alongside of the map updates, which we'll be going through some of those changes, some of the Pokemon, some cool reworks in the mix, which I always love a rework. It makes some Pokemon really cool. We talked about that. We are finally going to do our job of this show and assign Latias and newcomer Palmot report cards, because we got a whole lot of Pokemon incoming towards the game that we're going to have to make. We'll talk a little bit about the Esports League. We got some news about LAIC upcoming, and then some interesting like roster news from across the world. We're starting to see these teams form, which is pretty exciting. And then if we got time, we will talk about a lot of the leaks put out by your favorite Unite Leaguer, El Chico Eevee, including moves, gameplay on a lot of the Pokemon yet to be released, and then some information on Pokemon in the more distant future. I think Vaporeon, kind of namely there. So a lot to talk about on this episode. We might not get to all of it, and we might just table some of it for next week, but who knows? Either way, Bridget, let's just start with some reflections on the new map. We talked, I think, outside of some of the YouTubers in the community, we might have talked the most about the changes that will be coming to this map and how they will impact our experience and the experience of the player base. So I want to know, first off, was there any surprises to you with the Groudon map and how things operate that you didn't expect? Now that things are changed, and it's like, yeah, you didn't expect that this would happen playing on the new map.
Man, that's a good question. I'm trying to think
Mm-hmm.
back. I mean, obviously the Reggie Drago of it all when the
Yeah.
map dropped was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out on last week's episode, I was like, wow, look at all the XP you get from Drago. And
You
so just like,
did.
he's wearing EXP share. Like, I don't know, actually. So
It's a perfect impression of me. I don't know.
just like to say that.
You must have been practicing that. I'm
I've
both
been-
impressed and hurt. Okay.
you better believe as soon as like we realized like if we didn't get first Drago, we were like kind of screwed on that first objective. I was like shaking my fist at you. I was like, Swink's tried to tell me this was not correct.
I was a fool.
But it was. So that at first was pretty, I mean, talk about snowball.
Yikes.
Like the first couple games, I was like, holy, like we are getting stomped.
Yeah, I guess we should
was like, we gotta get the Drago.
We should explain for people, maybe you're listening to this and you didn't play within the first 24 hours of the map dropping.
True.
So we talked a lot about it on last episode, but Reggie Drago is a new contestable objective in the middle of the map that spawns in at the 8-minute mark or whatever, like 2 minutes into the game, or 7-minute. I always get that confused. I like know it when I'm playing, but yeah, I think it's 8 minute, right? It's where
sure.
old Swablulatary spawned in. But anyway, Reggie Drago spawns in, moves up and down. For 24 hours, that thing gave ridiculous team-wide experience. Not just to the Pokemon involved in the team fight, it was like old Dreadnought levels of EXP to the entire roster on your team. It was pretty crazy levels of broken. And I think a lot of people were expecting, like, hey, there's a lot less grass. Maybe Pokemon like attackers or late game scalers will do a little bit better. Due to this early EXP and a lot of farm on the map, anything further from that could be the truth. Like, speedsters and Pokemon that excel early on in the match, especially when Regidrago was in the state it was, were unreal. So yeah, that was crazy. And within 24 hours, Pokemon Unite did a hot fix to Regidrago and tuned down the amount of EXP you got, which I will say feels amazing. And I'm really happy they were so quick to do it because yeah, this change feels great now. It feels like a pretty balanced level of EXP, especially on a contestable mid objective. Even if it has a lot of HP, it's a healthy objective to fight over for sure. But it's been kind of fun. But okay, sorry to cut you off. Continue. Yeah, you understood. Knocking out the Regidrago was the game plan to win the game.
Yeah, that helped a lot when those dots were connected. Obviously, since it's not become as required, but it is still pretty nice to get that a first initial team-wide XP objective. So, but you're not going up like 3 levels. You're going up like half. So much more balanced. Another one was, I would say, obviously overall, really enjoy Groudon. I mean, having that shortened L bush and like no pixel bush, I do feel like I'm way more like I'm just like exposed. Like I'm out there, like they're out there. It's kind of like, why don't we just run at each other? I don't know. I just feel like we like want to like brawl a lot more because you can't just like sit and hide in one of the bushes and like kind of wait for them to mess up. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's made that like bottom part of pit like I don't know, a little more like crazy chaotic. I was really hoping like mages would be like kind of so back, but it feels like no, like speedsters are so back. You thought they were gone. They've never left. Like they're even better now. Like, oh my god, which I'm kind of like, ugh. Like, please, bro. I feel like speedsters have just been like running this game all year. But other than that, I am like really loving like Groudon endgames. One thing was like the first time I like griefed, like my team griefed, I was part of the griefing, like griefed our Groudon shields and we like lost and we were like, oh,
yeah,
we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So it just was kind of like, oh, obviously it's like, oh, I know it's not Rayquaza, but the muscle memory kind of goes strong. Like when we secure the Rayquaza, I'm like, let's go. Like I kind of don't even think about it half the time. So it's taken some getting used to.
A process of unlearning for sure.
Yes.
Oh, it is. I got like war-torn flashbacks of like the first day. As soon as you knock that thing out, I mean, it's people just eyes closed, head first, can't lose. Like they think they have some kind of score shield, and they are sprinting at goal zones into like 2 enemy Pokemon sometimes. And I'm like, no, you have to knock them out. Like you have a 50% or 60% damage buff or whatever it is. Like just hit them, you'll win. But people just like think they have this interruptible or uninterruptible scoring mechanic with this new Groudon buff. That is not the case. Score speed helps, but yeah, I mean, and against any kind of attacker or something that has a good goal zone defense, it's, yeah, you gotta knock that Pokemon out, and a whole lot of your randoms will still not know that effect. I think it is, it's pretty easy, like you said, to fall into old habits and be like, we got it, go, go, go. But the mechanic is still pretty fun. I have had multiple games now that have kind of been what I think the developers kind of wrote up on their dream journal when they were talking about this new map. Like where we lost a fight at Groudon, but it was close, so a couple of them were down. 3 Pokemon got the buff on the enemy side. They tried to siege our goal zone. We respawned, we rallied, we knocked them out, we take the buffs, we go score on the other side. You know, like,
wow. wow.
Freaking angels in the outfield kind of moment. And we're able to win the
Rudy.
game. We all became best friends, and well, we started
Mm.
best friends. To be very clear. But I just yeah, it is magic like that that is really exciting about the new map. And I think the general consensus from what I can see from people is yeah, the late game especially on this new map is phenomenal. Like just some of the most fun I've had playing Pokemon Unite is because of how this map is designed into the late game. I love it. Early game, it does feel like there is a best archetype of Pokemon to play at the moment, and I'm not a huge fan of that. However, all the changes they've made to early game laning and stuff with the just new
Oh
placement of a
yeah.
lot of the wild Pokemon, a lot of those changes I found really exciting. One change I wanted to get your opinion on, though, how do you feel about Regis being randomized between top and bottom for the first spawn of the map? What is your opinion on that? Because that's one that I've seen people kind of be 50-50 on.
I personally, I have been finding it like fun. Like,
Mhm,
oh,
mhm.
what are we gonna get? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like, oh, we lost bottom. Like, oh, we have to go to like Reggie now. Like,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, as long as you've preserved like one of your lanes, like
Yeah.
you have like kind of a shot at what I perceive as the better objective. So the one of the trio. But I can see from like a strategic standpoint, like it's the randomness isn't probably super fun. It's
Mhm.
hard to like cover both goal zones. You do kind of like if you everyone shows up bot and it's an Alecki and you wanted the other guy, then it's like, oh well, we just, put all of our resources here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wasn't sure about it at first, but just like personally, I've found it like kind of fun to
Yeah.
be like, oh, which one are we gonna get? And remembering like where it is. Like I don't know. I just kind of like enjoy that like a memory game
Mhm.
within the game. So I've actually liked it, and it like I feel like bottom, which is it's interesting that like the bottom goal zones are have more points on them, but
Mhm.
I found teams like push for them more,
Yeah, for
obviously
sure.
now
Mhm.
since there is the electricity down there sometimes. So
Mhm.
I've been enjoying it, but what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive on it as well. It's interesting to find that we align because I do think like as a community, people are kind of split on it, whether it happens or not.
Yeah.
Like our chat, Cynics is saying that randomized Regis is a great way to add value to top lane in an attempt to balance them, but it's still not enough. So they're saying that like bot lane is a little bit more priority than over top lane. That's
Hmm.
interesting. Um, I yeah, and then Swim asking, I wonder how pros feel about the randomized Regis. Honestly, I don't think it changes like the early game tempo as much as people are maybe expecting. The one thing I really like about it is it just gives me kind of a reason to leave lane more often when I'm playing with randoms, right?
Hmm.
So in coordinated play, I'm gonna be leaving often, but sometimes in solo queue, I'm just like, listen, my team's all pushing that way. They're going to score 40 in this bottom goal zone if I'm not here. I better go defend it, that kind of thing. Which obviously that element of strategy is still there. But I do find with the way the late game plays, and I think overall games have a lot less scoring. Hey, you take away a gigantic score shield from the objective winning team, that's going to happen. That score tempo, I find Regieleki super important, whether it's on top or bottom in these games. I
Really?
find, especially if you can get that sucker landed into one of those 120 goals. In like if you can do it in the early game, it's amazing. You have a giant score lead to work with. It almost like makes it like a lot of sense to break that goal zone early. Like, who cares if you give them the extra EXP, especially just with how much
Hmm.
EXP there is on the map? Like, who cares? They get a couple extra Indeedis. Everybody's level 14 by endgame anyways. It's
I
not gonna matter.
know.
So I am a pretty big fan of that. I think Regieleki is gonna be really strong to the point where I've like seen a like I'm like panning over and I see it like, oh, it's Regirock. Nah, whatever. I'm just gonna go try to go
Wow.
score on this one or whatever. I'll get some farm. I'm not so pressed about getting this next Reggie. So I'm actually a pretty big fan of it. I think the randomization is kind of fun. I feel like it's one of those changes that if they reverted it, I also wouldn't be super upset. You know, like it wouldn't be like if
Yeah.
they went back to being like, "Hey, we're changing it again. Reggie like he's always going to be on top. The three Regis are always going to be on the bottom." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." Because yeah, Kirby also mentioning on chat saying the thing I don't like is top hat is way too easy to break, right? It's a little bit less than 70 now instead of 80. So if Regieleki is there on top side now, I mean the incentive to break early is really, really high. Where obviously it used to be that way too to try to get a Regieleki to tier 2, but now it feels like even more so. But either way, I'm actually a pretty big fan of it. I like the goal zone points changing a lot. The randomized Reggies, fine too. But yeah, I think overall just change is good at this point, right? At this point, I just want
Yeah.
everything to kind of be new. So we can keep learning and trying new stuff and figuring out like, what the meta, the best thing is. This is a fun era of the game. So I'm kind of into it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's been interesting and sometimes frustrating to see
Mm-hmm.
it unfold in my lobbies.
Totally.
But I have heard, or like, I feel like I've seen on Twitter a lot of like score comp rumblings.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I shouldn't be surprised to hear that you've been dabbling in the score compness yourself.
Well,
So
yeah,
I
I
need to
mean,
lock in more. I need to lock in more on the
mhm.
Aleckies.
I think a full commit to the score comp is like a degree I'm not willing to step into. It's like
Okay.
I will wash my hands of that, but I still a DGen. I still will focus on scoring over EXP in a lot of situations. In
Okay.
this new map, which again I think is really cool. Like this is a strategy in a lot of other MOBAs too, right? Like sometimes you want to play to just hyper farm and get level lead in like a game like League, or you want to like break towers and get like money lead, right? Like there's two
Mm.
options that you're kind of thinking of. Like, do you want to play really aggressive towards towers? Do we need to just like fall back, like split our jungle, whatever? You can change it. You can try to hyperscale, that kind of thing. So glad we got more to work with. That's really fun. One thing I wanted to say, I'm kind of shocked they didn't change jungle at all. I kind of
They changed the
expected
bush a little bit.
that. Okay, that's true. That's true. The tall grass changed. I guess I meant in terms of farm.
You're
That they did
valid.
not change it at all. Bring back the Lillipup, please. Tell me where the blue buff is.
Oh, yeah. Have mirrored sides.
Oh wow, what a time! Grass and sand side, man. What a
Yeah.
time.
Oh, wow.
That would be interesting. I don't think I want that, but it would
I
be
don't think I do
interesting.
either. It always really confused me.
Yeah. But yeah, some really interesting stuff. Again, we already talked about how much we like the end game team fights. I think Groudon currently right now, I feel like it's in a really good spot. I think I said this in Spraggle stream the other day. I've only been knocked out by Regirock once, or sorry, by a rock
Oh,
from Groudon once. I'm very proud of
good
that fact.
work.
Thank you, thank you.
Good
I
work.
know most people listening to this probably at 0, but only one for me so far. Um but yeah, overall, loving all the map changes. Now, it's not the only thing that's changed. Obviously, there was a big patch we'll get into in a moment, but there was a few other things that we did not know about. I don't think we knew about it. No, I think we definitely didn't. Draft, now, once
Oh,
you get
yeah.
Master's rank, is still the same way, has changed in a pretty massive way on ladder. It is now back to a voting, like kind of blind ban phase, as it was when it very first dropped. For those of you who remember draft and ranked when it first appeared, it is a voting process, but now 3 bans per side. Now, of course, they're blind bans, so they could be repeat bans, and there is situations where only 2 Pokemon are banned on one side or something, but a maximum of 6 Pokemon banned in any given ranked match, and it is a lot faster now with a blind voting system. So I have only had the pleasure of playing in a single draft game so far, so pretty
Good
low in
though.
the 1200s. So I have not
Well,
I have not seen too many Masters games in my career this season, but I've got to play one. I think it's a great change for ranked. I know a lot of people are really concerned if this is going to be the case for competitive. I'm just gonna say I would be shocked if tournament gameplay was the same way. I think it is. I think it is going to be changed. But that's just my hunch. I don't actually know. I have no information one way or the other. But anyway, before I get into that side of things, Richard, how do you feel about this change for ranked?
oh, for ranked, like 10 out of 10 for sure. I mean, I
Mm,
feel like one of the biggest complaints, if not one of like the only complaints of a draft mode, is how long it takes.
yeah.
Like people really do care about this game being like 10 minutes long. They
Yeah,
don't like the added,
it's a big appeal.
yeah, like the added time of draft. I mean, that adds, so, I forget the exact time. It's probably like 4 minutes, but, percentage of time you're expecting, that's like, 40% more than you want. So,
Oof.
anyway,
Yeah.
people hate it, how long it takes. So, I love this change for ladder. I mean, everyone gets a say. It's not just on like two people who like maybe aren't paying attention. Like,
Mhm.
if you're locked in, you're probably at least getting one ban. I
Yeah.
mean, unless like everyone picks something different, then I think it might be like random. But you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you are most likely going to at least get to pick one of them, which I think
Yeah.
is cool. Like, I think that gives a lot more autonomy, like even when you're like solo queuing, which is
Mhm.
really, really nice to take the power away from oftentimes duos who would land in those spots, I feel
Mhm.
like. So overall, very, very good rank change. And adding a spot too, giving us three, it kind of feels like finally. Like, I feel like we've been on two for a while.
Mm.
So it was, I think, time for more.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It was time. It was time for more. The roster's gotten big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for it in competitive play. So yeah, personally, I think it's a great change for ranked. I'm excited about it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of 6 Pokemon being banned in a lot of games, especially if it stays in this blind pick state. Usually the community is pretty aligned on there are 3 to 4 Pokemon that are almost must bans in any given format, or at least the most popular bans, right? And then it falls off
Mm-hmm.
after that. I think that is going to be very, very common. I think it'll be an anomaly when you're going into a game with 6 Pokemon not allowed, but that's still kind of exciting too. Um, okay, but now that I mentioned it a little bit talking about it, I don't think this is going to stay the same for competitive. The other thing I would be interested in to see if people would like it, and Bridget, you might be a good person to ask because you 5 stack more than I do. But what would you feel about 5 stack in ranked switching to a alternating band form with 6 total bands again, going like, back and forth for 3 each and not doing the blind ban phase with a vote pick?
I feel like for 5 stacks, that's super fun. And it's just like, it's a lot more interesting when you can like discuss it with the people you're queuing with.
Mhm.
So in like a 5 stack situation, I mean, at least when I do, we're like in VC. So, or at least most of us are in VC.
Totally.
So you can actually like discuss what you like want to do if
Mhm.
there's like actual back and forth for the band. So, and you're already, I don't know, like, I feel like people who are 5 stacking are like more committed to like staying in, like they're not
Yeah.
gonna like AFK or like not pay attention. Like, they're more committed to like playing the game through. So I don't
Grief
think
if
like
their pick gets banned or something. Yeah.
yeah, I
Mhm.
don't think they're gonna like, AFK the game if they don't get whatever during the draft. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
there's just less of a variable for they're not going to be mad at the longer queue times because the queue times are already long anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it might take a little longer to get in game, but it would probably take like the time it does now, maybe a
Mhm.
little longer, because you'll
Agreed.
do the 3. But
I
I
agree.
don't know.
Okay, okay. So positive on that change. Obviously, in tournament play, I would love it. I've seen a lot of people theorizing, would it be like other MOBAs where you do 2 bans and then kind of a first wave of picks and then a couple like 1 ban per team a little bit later on in the draft?
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. I don't know exactly how you would assign at what stage you would kind of put a pause on it and go back to the banning phase. Admittedly,
Mm.
I I think it's fine. I actually just think 3 on each side to start the drafting phase would be fine as well. Like I don't think I think if you're taking out 6 top tier Pokemon, we're starting to get into the interesting pick range, right?
Oh
It's not
yeah.
like, okay, we got rid of 4. Now we can get some like top tier picks, and then we target ban and we get some more interesting picks. I do think if you got 6 at the top, it'd be fine. So personally, I don't really care either way. But I guess I would lean just 3 and 3 at the start. But so we'll see what happens when tournament mode updates eventually. Got a feel for grassroots organizations right now. They've been trying to run some events on the new map, and unfortunately, tournament mode has not been updated. Currently, you just got a blind pick into these tournament matches, or sorry, vote to not blind pick, but blind ban in
I'd
these tournament
ban,
matches,
yeah.
which is a bit of a bummer. I also think like emblems are still available. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully tournament mode will be updated soon. So I mean, players can start trying to compete in a more competitive environment. We love grassroots competitions here. Would be fun to see that soon. So really hope it gets updated soon. But yeah, I think that kind of brings us to the end of our some of the sweeping changes that happened
Yeah.
for the map and all that. There was also like some bunch of UI changes, like some new shop items.
Oh,
Follow
yeah.
Bridget and I on Twitter. I think we went back and forth about a couple of them. They're kind of cool. Oh, Swim in our chat, by the way, saying 3 is good in terms of bans. I think they should add blind bans to blind pick too. So basically, ultra and below, adding
Mm,
3 bans in. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think it'd probably be good to add maybe at ultra. So like at Ultra 5, once you get to Ultra 5, now there's like a banning stage. And
that would be so
then
cool.
once you get to Master, then you get the drafting phase. I think that would be like almost like a ranked tutorial as you move
Yeah,
along.
imagine we get a tutorial.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice. However, I got to admit, having a ranked reset aligned with a new Pokemon pretty often is kind of nice because then you just get a ton of games with the new Pokemon. If there were
Mhm.
bans in Ultra, that the new Pokemon would just be banned every time, and
That's true.
testing a new Pokemon in a ranked environment would almost be
Not
non-existent, I think.
happen.
So
Yeah.
I personally I think maybe they should just stick to wherever it lands in draft, but because it's kind of nice when that
Fair enough.
aligns.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, let's we'll talk about the patch a little bit, but before we get into that, Bridget, I think it's finally time. It's finally time to
Ooh.
us to go back into class and give out a couple of release report cards. So, if any of
Ugh.
you have not been listening to our podcast at all, we've been giving every single new release added into Pokemon Unite this year a report card. Since January.
Mhm.
We're over halfway through the year. We got a whole lot more Pokemon to do for this.
Oh god.
And yes, we are late on our last assignment, so we are catching up here. This is going to be our next one is going to be Latias. We're going to do kind of a quick mode, and then we're going to talk about Palmont as well. I've gotten the chance to play a decent amount of Palmont as well, so I'm feeling good about chatting that. Chat, we got you on the screen. We got Bridget and I on the screen too for those of you watching in video. So if you want to chat along and talk about our report card, feel free. Okay. So Latias, Bridget, this is support is right up your alley. Before we get into the actual letter grades, let's just talk about it. How are you feeling about this Pokemon? And honestly, let's talk about its current state. How are you feeling about Latias at its current state right now?
Currently, I cannot win on this guy. I don't know. This new map has not been kind to me
Okay.
with Latias, which is a shame because I really have been enjoying it. It does, I mean, so it got a buff after it was initially released, which made
it desperately needed, by the way.
Yes.
I think when we're assigning letter grades, we should go with release Pokemon, just to stick with the rest of the releases. So
I'm aligned.
Yeah, we'll talk about it then. But yeah, okay, currently though, continue.
Yeah, I did enjoy, like, I'll play Miss Ball every like once in a while, and I do like that I can like choose when it like explodes, which I didn't realize when I first started playing it. I was like, why, how does it like decide when to burst? Because I thought it would if it just like hit like an enemy, but I noticed it like wasn't always doing that, and I realized I'm like, oh, I have to like explode it. So
I clicked the button,
which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I do really enjoy that, but obviously I just feel like Cheer and Dragon Pulse, it's kind of like it's only like to me it feels like that's like the move set. You know, I mean, you can't not play Dragon Pulse, like just the healing is too crazy. But yeah, it does not feel great right now, I fear, which kind of is a shame.
Yeah, it's
me.
interesting. It feels a little weak right now, still, even after the buffs. I think it's better, for sure. I actually do think this is a Pokemon, like, a patch away from being great, though. If that makes any sense. I
Yeah.
do think a lot of its moves are extremely strong and just do feel like a numbers tweak away from being a very relevant meta threat. It feels like it's you have the pulse shear moveset to kind of be your traditional support. Supports often pair with melee Pokemon. It feels like Latias does very, very well when working with that moveset alongside an all-rounder or something like that. But the other
Mhm.
moveset does feel like it would pair pretty well for sort of a double attacker lane style thing, where you got a lot of range damage, or a double mage lane, I should say, with Latios and someone else. Maybe a Latios. Have you gotten the chance to lane with a Latios together?
Oh yes,
and
like
and
especially
Miss Bald
during
and all that stuff. So you get the collab.
oh yeah, especially during release, like it was
Hmm.
actually it was like a fun mod to solo queue because
Yeah.
people would play Latios to like pair with you, and it was just like, oh, like you're my friend now, like
Hmm.
we're locked in.
Yeah.
So I had some like funny interactions playing solo queue with Latios, especially, and like doing with my friends and stuff
Yeah.
playing Latios. So it was a lot of fun. Obviously their passive is pretty silly. I didn't find it like OP
No.
or like
Yeah.
too crazy or anything. I think it's actually a pretty fun duo. I
Me
wish
too.
they released at the same time, but
Yeah, that
that's
was
okay.
that was a wild choice. But now that they're both out, we can look back and laugh together at the moments like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I found that the times I use the passive by far the most are when I get knocked out really early in a fight. I respawn
Yup.
in, I click
And
that
I
button to go
said,
back to
give
my
me
homie.
back.
I'm like, high five him on the way in, and we keep fighting. That's the way we play it. But yeah, I'm
Amen.
I'm a fan of this Pokemon. So this is gonna be kind of an interesting one. Because let's get into the report now. So again, we're gonna go back in time a little bit. We're gonna go back to when this Pokemon was first released. I think for once, this is one of those Pokemon that I actually think the balance level is going to be a poor ranking. This was a very bad Pokemon on release. It got better, but I think it's still poor. I'm thinking like C minus for balance level on this Pokemon. How do you
Yeah.
think? Yeah, C
Yeah,
minus.
like it
Okay.
was playable, but it wasn't. I felt like it was only playable because like Latios was so good.
Right. Yeah.
And if
By
Latios probably
association.
had it, yeah, exactly. But I think
Okay.
on its own, it was not giving.
Agreed. Now, I see Will Boy saying in our chat saying, Mom said I could get a Switch 2 if my report card is straight A's from Latias. Oh, first grade's going to be tough. We're going to need Latias to get a patch for some extra credit, I think, if they want to get that, or some summer school to get that Switch 2. Okay, but even despite that balance level, I'm willing to give Latias a very high fun rating. I think they did a really good job of making a attacker support. Like we don't really have one yet outside of maybe Eldegoss if you really want to like give it that, because like Wigglytuff's kind of our like defender support. Low key,
Mhm.
there's like Mr. Mime builds that could be your all-rounder support, like you kind of have those
Mhm.
flexes. Latios feels like our first attacker support flex. Which I really like, and it's a fun playstyle. The passive is fun if Latios is in the game. Maybe a bit of a detractor if it's not, but I think we'll talk more about that in flavor. But I do think the movesets seem different enough, which also is a fun plus for me. Like I like when a Pokemon there's like varied things you can do, not only in terms of power level, but just like in terms of toys you have, and like variable gameplay experience, if I want to add a smart term to it. So anyway, I was gonna vote Latias as an A for fun. How about you?
I would be down for that.
Okay.
The only thing I was gonna say is its moveset is very fun. It's also like Cheer Pulse almost gives me like Hoopa vibes too, like with
Mm-hmm.
the shield, Phantom Force. I guess like nowadays you can position it anywhere, but you used to have to position it on your ally back
True.
in my day.
Okay, I remember. Yeah.
So it was kind of like, I don't know, teleporting to your ally type vibes that Dragon Cheer has, which I really like. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it pairs so well with a brawler that like if they're in an enemy's face, you just cheer right in, depulse them, heal like a billion damage, and keep going about
Yeah.
your day. So yeah, I've been enjoying it actually a lot more than I kind of initially thought. Because I felt like everyone was like, oh, it's an attacker, which it obviously gives attacker, but I really like the support like
Mm-hmm.
move paired with it.
Yeah, me too. I love the support moveset. It just sucks you don't get the move till level 7. Like, that is the craziest
Yes.
thing. You not getting a supportive, like, in terms of, like, a very on paper simple supportive move until level 7 is wild. But yeah, Six in our chat also saying that it is super fun to double ult with Latios. That is very true.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so are you okay sticking at A, or do you want to add a minus to that? Okay,
Yes.
we'll stick there.
A is good.
Flavor theme. This one is so interesting to me because I actually think Latios fits the flavor theme better than Latios does.
Interesting.
So I think Little Flying Dragon, it feels more outside of maybe Meteor kind of saving the draconic vibe of Latios. I think Latios fits it well. Dragon Shear was one of my favorite new moves they added in Gen 9. I thought it was a really cool move that was in Scarlet and Violet, and I thought they paired it really well in Unite. Like, I thought it was a really good translation of that move from VGC into Unite. So I love that. I think the Unite move where they work together is awesome. When they actually use their passive, it's sick. I like that a lot of its moves work together in tandem with a specific Pokemon. I actually think that's a bonus to its flavor. I don't think it's a detractor. As I get it, if there's no Latios in your game, it doesn't feel the same, but that kind of also works because you're like, oh, where is my Latios? You know? Where is...
I do like that it's like, because I feel like we always like kind of joked like, oh, Zoroark and Comfey are like the E-Dater duo.
Yeah,
And then Unite
step
was
aside.
like, okay, how about we just make literally a pair? Like, they are meant to be a pair. I don't know. It's a really fun like way they design them, and it doesn't make them like unusable on their own, and it also doesn't seem to make them like unbearable together.
Agreed.
So I kind of understand why they're nerfed so much right now, but I like how they went about, I don't know, them as a duo, because we haven't really like, we've had like duos kind of, but not like this. I don't feel like kind of like the Megas, but you couldn't run them together, like the Mega Mewtwo's. I should specify we're getting more Megas. The Mewtwo Megas were kind of like a pair, but you couldn't play them together really. I don't know. And like everything else, it's like the same like class. Like I guess Eevees kind of are like a group thing, which is similar-ish, but it's just, I don't know, there's just a difference between it just being like two guys. So also to say, I really like it. I also thought it was funny when you said Meteor Beam. It sounds like meteor, like meat that you eat. And Smim made fun of you in the chat, and I just think that's a funny, there's a funny TikTok of the dinosaurs getting hit by meteors, and God's like, no, I said to make them meteor. They're like, meteor?
No.
They're like, meteors. Anyway.
Yeah.
Give it a grade.
Perfect. I think I was gonna say like A minus for flavor / theme on Latios. I really do think the only thing putting a little hyphen beside it to give it a minus ranking is the fact that there's no like trickery kind of involved with Latios. Like when you look at the movie and like at the show and stuff, it is like like it can change its shape to kind of imitate other people, like almost Ditto-esque. And we don't have anything quite like that. I don't know how you would when you have like Zoroark, who's kind of already got that passive, that kind of thing. But I do think there was something you could do, like maybe one of its movesets could be a little more illusion based, like a double team or something similar, but unfortunately not the case. So that's the only point I'm going to take away from Latios there, but still an A, very, very strong. Solo queue viability on Latios. Okay, we said we were going to do this turbo, by the way, and we're going in depth on this Pokemon
at all.
So
actually.
let me change it up for a second. How do you feel about a B in both of these categories?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
or even lower, maybe.
I'm about to say I would maybe even put like a C in comp, but I haven't been tapped into
I am
the
down. I am down to put a C in comp. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I think this looks fair. Like on Latios. Like, I do think it's fun, and I do think it fits the flavor of Latios in my mind. However, it's too weak. It struggles in solo, and it is probably unplayable in comp, especially because you could expose one of its best strengths with a drafting strategy. So, Yeah, I think this fits well. Hundo Burgers. My gut instinct for Hundo Burger, that's funny, is a 3 out of 5 Hundo Burgers, but I could go only 2. But where are you feeling?
I feel like we always give 2 or 3, but I'm down for 3 because I love supports
Yep.
and I've enjoyed playing it, honestly. And that to me is what Hundo Burgers are all about.
Mm,
So
true. All right, well, there it is. Our Latias support new release report card. An A for fun, a C minus in balance, an A minus for its flavor slash theme, a B for its solo queue viability, a C for its competitive viability, and 3 Hundo Burgers out of 5, which of course is our most straightforward statistic. Okay, it is time to give our second Pokemon a report card. Welcome, Palmot, which I've been told is maybe Palmet, but I'm going to call it Palmot.
yeah, 'cause it's a marmot,
Marmot.
right?
Oh, interesting. That's like the
But I don't
localization name
know.
for it. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Whatever. This is the guy that Palmy evolves into. So,
Mhm.
we
This
are
is
going to.
big palmy.
This is big. This is future Palmy. Yeah. So let's give this Pokemon a ranking. Have you gotten the chance to play Palmet yet?
I haven't.
Okay. Fair
I
enough.
have not, which
Have you
I've
gotten the
been
chance to
wanting to.
witness Palmet gameplay yet?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. My duo has been playing it quite a bit.
All right.
He moves very fast when he's on that one move. I'm like, I cannot pocket you because you are here 1 minute and just goes like bloop again. I'm like, I don't know where you are. This is difficult. So
Yeah, the
I've been getting used to it.
Supercell slam or whatever it is. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he just there's no indicator. He is like zapping. I'm like, oh, okay, you're just gone.
So, a bit of context on Palmet. Now, I know we kind of went back in time for Latias. It's going to be tough to do with Palmet. It is one of those Pokemon that also got, like Regidrago, got a hotfix almost immediately. Had a few things going on with it. One, it was just too weak. It just did not survive in team fights. It was getting KO'd way too fast. They buffed it a bunch. It's now one of the tankiest all-rounders in the entire roster. It's got a lot of numbers to back it up. The other fun bug, which the clips on Twitter of this happening
Oh
were
my
so
God.
funny. Whenever you use Thunder Punch, you got an empowered punch after, and it would do friendly fire. And watching people just take clips of them just like fighting and then turning around, walking up to their teammate and just going, boom, and socking them with that empowered Thunder Punch and just immediately KOing them was so funny. I could not stop laughing at those, but I am happy that that has been edited. This Pokemon's an interesting one. It does feel like there is you have a decent amount of variety with the moves. Like, it doesn't feel like there are any 2 moves that are kind of locked into picking like together as a tandem. Like, it feels like you kind of mix and match, which is a good thing. It is an all-rounder that loves to brawl, and because of that, it gets a lot of lifesteal on its moves. And its Unite move has kind of a unique method of charging. After you use it, you deal damage, you punch, it charges up really fast. So I hit multiple targets. R.I.P. Phalanx again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kello had a really funny Palmot clip with Phalanx today. Did you
Oh
see
yeah,
that?
I think so. I did. I think I saw it on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just her KO, like getting her ult charge back almost immediately by like hitting a Phalanx because Palmot gets its ult charge off of doing its like autos, and I think it's one of its attacks like on other mons, and since Phalanx counts as like 6 different guys, she like ults, like hits the Phalanx a couple times, like ults again.
Ults again.
It
Ugh.
was demonic. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I will say my support Phalanx win rate in ranked is still doing pretty solid. I think I'm still at like 80% win rate on the Pokemon this season with like
Oh my
4
god.
games. I don't know. Support Phalanx and me we get along well. I'm having a good time. I had 1 game where we lost, but there are some hard counters out there. It is a bummer that Venusaur is doing really well right now, and
Ooh.
now Bobot has some unique mechanics that specifically target Phalanx. That also hurts. So yeah, some tough natural predators in the wild for it. But we're not talking about Phalanx at the moment. We're talking about Bobot. Let's get into some rankings on this Pokemon for report card. Let's talk about fun. Also, we're gonna rank it after its hotfix. I think we can't judge a Pokemon in its first 12 hours. That's just not fair. We gotta go back to the drawing board. So, E-Speed Lucario is also up. That is true. That's a good point. Okay, let's go to our first category, in which is fun. Now, I know you haven't got the chance to play it, so I'll mention this. I do find Palmet fun. However, I think I
I
find
was not
most other
convinced.
all-rounders more fun.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's a brawl Pokemon that is all about timing. Like, it's kind of one of those
Mm.
Pokemon that times when it fights rather than times your abilities. You know what I mean? It's like you go in, you press all your buttons, you get out. Like that is kind of the synergy that is seen with this Pokemon a lot. Obviously, there's like good players right now listening to this podcast going like, "No, Zoinks, that's not correct at all. You have to time these things better." But
Eh.
personally, I don't know. It feels a little lackluster to me. I'm not gonna lie. The stats are certainly helping it. And I find its Unite move. I'm not gonna lie, I hate pressing its Unite move. I find the game less fun when I'm using a Palm at Unite. It's like, okay, great, I did the thing, and now it's already over, and I did this big jump in that I didn't actually want to do when I pressed this Unite, and this is a bummer. So, that being said, I like pressing buttons, and I like punching things, which Palmet does that
Mm.
really, really well. So it's like,
I hear you.
I got an angle and a devil on my shoulders right now that are really guiding me in two different directions. I
And they're
want to give
both
Palmet,
Palmots.
I'm thinking like B plus.
Okay.
Listen, it's got a purple background, which basically means it doesn't go below B in my opinion. In terms of
Dang.
fun, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be tough for them to make an all-rounder I don't enjoy. It's just out of all all-rounders, I'm finding myself enjoying Palmet just a little bit lower than the rest. So I'm
Wow.
gonna put it at B. Any difference of opinion here, Bridget? Are we okay for B for Bridget?
I'm aligned with B for me.
Okay.
So
B for me. Suicune is work, not fun. That's funny. However,
actually
Smim,
true.
have you felt the rush of an eject button Suicune alt? It is a different realm. A different realm of happiness. Okay, balance level. After the buffs, obviously, I think this Pokemon is in a different state. I think we would have given this an F beforehand.
Yes.
How high do we think it goes, though? And reminder, our balance level grade is not A plus is the strongest thing in the game. A plus is like, this feels like a good, balanced Pokemon. It's strong, it's exciting, but it's not gonna get busted. And honestly, I think after the buffs, this Pokemon might be fitting every one of those criteria. I don't know how you feel about it, though.
Okay. I guess still I haven't played a ton,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, with new Palmot, but to me it still feels like maybe slightly undertuned
Okay,
still.
okay.
Like,
Yeah,
but
I
I
would
guess
align
I'm
with that.
hesitant to say. I'm like, oh, but maybe it's like closer to balance than like I think.
It does feel
So
like a Pokemon that a week from now we're gonna be like, boy, that thing is busted. Like it'll be someone
yeah,
will
that's true
crack some
too.
code, you know what I mean? And it'll be like, oof, yeah, okay, those numbers were too much in that balance patch. We gotta tone it down.
Hmm. But yeah, I must say so far, having played with it, it definitely seems a lot better, but it's not like
Hmm.
it's definitely not too much.
Okay,
Like if
cool.
I think it's very really close, but like just a little under tuned.
Okay.
You think?
Here's what I'm gonna say. A minus then is what I
Yeah,
think is a good settlement to have. Also, low key, one of the best grade performances in balance level on any release report card we've done so far this year.
easily. Yes.
So shout out to Palmet for really crushing it there. Flavor theme. Listen, here's what I'm gonna say. They
Oh
didn't
no.
give it revival blessing. They didn't give it a defibrillator
Yes.
hand revival blessing, which is truly insanity.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I'm mad at Timmy. I'm mad at Pokemon. I'm mad at the word unite. I'm mad at the colors orange and purple. Yeah, Swim also or Double Shock. Truly, there's so many things they should have done with this Pokemon. They did not. There's nothing about the amount of steps taken to evolve. Not that I wanted it to be so clear, but
Yes.
you know what would be so funny? And
Stop. If you
a flavor win is they have a step counter for Palmet in the bottom corner. It does nothing. There's no passive associated with no stats, but all there is the step counter in the bottom part of your screen. Like where all the attack weight stacks and everything are. I
that
think
is
that would have
so
been the
funny.
funniest thing that Pokemon Unite could have ever done, and it people would be like MathCord would be diabolically searching through the files to find out what it does, and it does nothing. It's just a step counter. So for all
No,
that, I
that's
think like
genius.
that being said, I feel like Thunder Punch and its Unite move do work. Like it does feel like they're like it feels like they actually moved a little bit more away from the electric type and more into, hey, remember this guy's also a fighting type. Like it feels like they kind of did
True.
that with this Pokemon, which honestly shout out because it with an all electric move set, except for Mach Punch, I think, be a fighting type
Yeah.
move. But either way, and I think Mach Punch is a cool move. So I'm not gonna put it down into the D categories. Honestly, I'd be like C plus B minus is kind of where I'm sitting at. Where do you think Palmet fits in flavor theme?
I really do like the electric rat of it all, and I do feel like they infuse like the fighting aspect well. I think it's really cute when he gets on like all fours and like
Oh,
hops
yes.
around.
Okay, you're
That's
right.
cute. I would give it a B minus, I feel
Okay,
like.
okay. Got it.
The
So
no revival blessing is really messed up. I'm
actually
not gonna lie to
like,
you. That
ugh. Who approved this? Whatever.
yeah, I know. It almost makes you feel like that's too high of a grade, but it's not like they totally missed the mark or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, they give Palmy Nuzzle that. That's a check mark somewhere.
Palmy looks cute.
Palmy's so cute. I also do love that it has a unique license art that's just Palmy. Like
Me too.
that's brilliant. See, that's step counter level of thinking outside the box that I like. But
Exactly. Yeah, you pay gems for the step counter.
can you imagine? Oh wait, now. Oh no, I'm seeing the error of my ways. Okay.
I would.
Okay, solo queue viability. I feel like this is one where solo queue viability will be higher than its competitive viability, right? I think.
Yeah.
Are you willing to get competitive viability of Palmet C plus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
Me think
not
so.
C underscore C plus. Okay.
C plus.
Okay. How about solo queue viability? We've had cynics in our chat saying this thing is broken. People are running the wrong items, and this thing is going to get exposed. So I think we take some of the warning of our Twitch chat here, Bridget. I think
I
think
will
we're
heed them.
yeah.
I will heed them.
I think the gas coming in for this Pokemon, it might just be premium. So I think we up it a little bit. B plus?
Yes, sir.
B plus? I don't know. It feels like there's better all-rounders, but it also feels like you can't go wrong with some all-rounders. The stats alone are pretty nice. It just feels like, I don't know, sometimes Palma just kind of falls flat on its face a little bit. I think the mastery of this Pokemon is going to be better. We'll see. So how do we feel about B plus?
I think good, actually. I actually feel like solo queue, it can survive on its own pretty well. Especially it sucks that it has to like get online, but it is like not too horrible and is like tanky and brawly enough, I think, to get there. It doesn't have as bad of a time as like the mages.
It feels like level 5 in lane for an all-rounder isn't too bad anymore. Like it feels like you can kind of make do. There's a lot of contestable farm, so if you got even some early game secure moves, you have a chance of swiping some stuff. That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, you can try to push for the middle Natu spawn at 8 minutes and try to outcontest a jungler. Been there.
Yes, sir. Hey, and no one even knows those Natus are always up when I go in there.
Yeah.
No one ever gets those.
The freebies. Yeah, this is your
Pro
Overdunk
tip.
Pro tip. Go to the
really
middle for the
is.
free Natus.
They're there for the first 2 minutes. No one touches them, I swear.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Hundo Burger level out of 5. We just gave Latios 3 Hundo Burgers out of 5. It did exceptionally well in the fun and flavor categories. Palmot, while not having as low of lows as some of Latios' stats, does not have anywhere near the highs. Its highest ranking being balance level at A-. Its lowest being C+ in its competitive viability. 2?
Dude, I almost said 1.
1 Hundo Burger level?
I don't know. Like, I love Palmy, I must say. And this is making me like Palmot much more. He looks like a little teddy bear and he runs around very cute. Even Palmo, who is like not like kind of like thumbs down for me is like kind of
Mhm.
like funny. I like how he like runs with his arms straight. It's very funny.
Mhm.
But I just, it's also might just be like a victim of like too much other things are like going on that are like
Yeah. That is
my eyes are
true.
on
The
like
spotlight is
Vaporeon.
not all on this Pokemon right now, right? Like there is so
Yeah.
many. Like, listen, there is a pink all-rounder that I am all about right now, and I could not care less about queuing up his Palmet at the moment. I got to admit. Thank you so much, by the way, for the free license provided by Play Pokemon. Thank you, Pokemon, so much for providing Bridget and I both a license for this Pokemon. It's fun.
We love you.
But really happy about Tinkaton recently, so
But
gonna
take a
keep
ton.
spreading my Tinkaton conjecture. But okay, yeah, Palmo runs like it's late for work. That is one of the best parts
So
of this
cute.
Pokemon is its running animation in the Flex Zone. So cute. Gosh, yeah, they are schmoovin'. They got places to be. All right,
Mhm,
well, there it
mhm.
is, our Palmet report card. For anybody listening in audio world, fun, B, balance level, A minus, flavor slash theme, a B minus, solo queue viability, a B plus, and its competitive viability going to be a C plus. Hundo Burger level, 1 out of 5. Oof.
Sorry, Palmot.
I think the highest we've gone is 4 on a release this year. We'll see. I've
Who
seen
did
that.
we give 4
I don't
to?
remember. I'll look back. I shouldn't have said that without
You
knowing
need
which Pokemon.
you need to gather all. I need to see all the report
The
cards. I'm gonna
stats
need
so
you
far,
to.
the stats
Yeah.
pre-megas, which we're gonna have to discuss if we give Mega Evolutions a report card, by the
Oh
way. We'll have to
God.
cross that bridge when we get to it.
I think we have. I feel like we'll discuss. Maybe
Uh-huh.
you guys can tell us what you think,
Yeah,
but
exactly. Could be something in the
I
new
think
Discord.
we should.
We'll see.
Oh yeah.
But
We
oh
haven't talked
man,
about
and
it
then
on
I could like
stream.
make this like a format for people to fill out and give their own report cards for releases.
Wait, that would be
We're
cute.
cooking. We're cooking. Okay.
Oh, we have so many ideas.
Too many. Okay, so those are our 2 release report cards. Thank you, Reese, for joining us. We got a little bit more in this episode for us to get to. One of the biggest things was there was a huge patch that came with the release of the Groudon map that changed the game up in a lot of pretty major ways, by the way. Also, I'm just going through my tabs right now of the things I wanted to have on the show. Y'all, I think a good chance of a 5 out of 5 Hundo Burger level is Delmice, by the way. That, like, oh my word. That
Yeah.
Pokemon looks like I've never seen a like highlight reel of moves and been like, oh, a new main. Cool. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
think
one's for
Mimikyu
me.
was the closest, but then like Delmice just, oh my gosh. They should have given a green background. It's wild that it's a purple background, but whatever. It's fine.
I feel the same about Vaporeon.
Eh,
Definitely can't
I
wait
like
to
it.
play this thing.
Give
Playing
me
it
more
a ton.
defenders.
Yeah, but also I don't want that one to be a defender. I want it to be a supporter.
Yeah. Oh.
That's fine.
Okay. Also, final word from Cynics on this patch. I mean, the defender of Palmont in our Twitch chat. You know how Zacian was considered kind of bad after the first round of nerfs, and then people just got good with it, and it was suddenly broken again, and now it's got nerfed over and over, and still the highest win rate mon of the game. That's gonna be Palmont. Dang. Palmont being like Zacian levels is crazy, but I'm down. That's gonna be awesome.
The prophecy.
Ugh. Okay, let's talk about the patch quick. So we're gonna talk about the balance patch real fast. I do want to talk about the cosmetics a little bit because, Bridget, I do think they're so cool.
They are.
If you were not aware of these, because I actually went to a couple of streamers, I like went to Steph of Anime stream, and I was like, Steph, how do you not have the hearts thing equipped? And she's like, what hearts thing? And I'm like,
Oh.
for just a couple bucks, you can get a KO streak. And when it happens, instead of just a little blue UI thing at the top, all of a sudden there's hearts floating around it now, which I think is awesome. Personally, I have the summer one equipped. Currently, they have dropped a summer package for your like in-game effects, a winter one, and a hearts themed one. So I love them all, and I think it's great. So keep stuff like that. What's my cut? Yeah, use creator code ZoinksCast at checkout when you're getting these.
Yeah.
But speaking of spending money and price, I actually am really happy with something like this coming into Unite because, and Wonder Chef, to their credit, has said this for a long time. Pokemon Unite has had a huge lack of cheap expenditures in the game. We kind of have, you have the free category of stuff that most players work through pretty quick, and then you have huge expenditures like $40 plus skins a lot of the time, and always around that mark, not that much cheaper than that frame. And then nothing in between for the like, hey, I just got paid. I got $5 to spend on my game. You know, somebody gave me a Nintendo points card to use on my Switch for Christmas. I got $5 left. Where am I going to put that? Like, you know, we don't have, and then this is cool. Like, I like little things like this. Obviously, it's cosmetic. That's great. So, personally, I'm a fan. Call me a shill, call me a sellout, whatever. I don't care. I'm happy with it. Bridget, do you have the hearts equipped on all your Pokemon, or have you seen? You can customize per Pokemon, by the way.
Yeah, I did. I was like a little like confused at that part at first, but
Mhm.
yeah, I have the one. I think it's like the heart one with like a it has like a little rainbow. It's very cute.
Mm.
Um yeah, I noticed that. I feel like I like noticed that really fast, and like that was like my first tweet on the new patch was like, "Oh, immediate purchase
Yep.
this," and everyone was like, "Where is it?" I'm like, "I just found it in
Yeah.
the store."
So if
But
you scroll down, it's like an option in your battle prep as well, by the way. Which is really cool. Yeah,
oh,
like, you know, because you don't see it unless you scroll, but it's right past the
yeah.
like Hollowware effect spray where you can equip that. Right underneath
Oh,
that, it's like, oh, it's like I forget what it's titled, but yeah, it's in there too. But yeah.
very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, I've liked the like you talked about like the Palmy like custom license
Mhm.
cover, but I really like the Magikarp one as well.
Oh
Like the
yeah.
one where he's like jumping out the card art. I really hope they keep those coming. I feel like people really like them and actually seem to like get them
Mhm. And yeah, what our chat's
relatively.
saying too, I hope they keep rewards like that, right? Let's just like, hey, if you spend any amount of money, like $1 or even less, like you can get these. Like it makes sense to tie these license arts in with events. So
Oh
Gyarados
yeah.
was a big part of the anniversary event and everything with like the battle pass, so they kept it. I think that's cool. But okay, let's talk about the balance patch.
Yes.
We're going a little long on this episode, so for you dunk heads who like a longer episode, shout out to y'all. But we're not probably gonna go too in depth, but there are a lot of pretty big changes in this in
Oh.
terms of Pokemon balance. So let's just get into it, shall we? Okay. First off, W name. We're back to dope
Oh.
names, by the way. Get out of here, you Impact. Celestial Rumble is here to enter the patch name tier list for sure. For those of you who still respect the old ways, it is version 1.20.1.2.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to see anything else. Like this name alone, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
No next steps, no impacting. I'm celestially rumbling
Celestial
in
Rumbling.
DSI Ruins this week.
Exactly.
So and
Exactly.
I love Groudon just like
Yeah.
stanced up on it. I'm glad he was like included because he deserves it.
Okay, I know we talked about like expenditure, like things to spend money on and stuff, and I'm already a shill, but like, but what if you had like, you know how they reskin the map to Articuno or whatever? What if they did like a lighter version of that, and like when you load in,
Ooh.
like Groudon's wearing like a top hat because you spent money on the map pack.
You could spend money to dress up your
Your
Groudon.
Groudon, yeah, in your games. That'd be, you
That
know how
is
like when you're
so
loading in,
funny.
sometimes you have the effects that you can press the button. Maybe like you
Yes.
have like a random chance of having, who knows. Okay, anyway, let's get into the changes. Let's start with maybe the big bad Pokemon of this patch, to tell you the truth, Trevenant.
Ugh.
This defender, absolutely wild, buffing Curse in the movement speed category, buffing Pain Split in terms of damage split to opponent. It did, at the top end, used to trade away 45% of the damage split. Now it's all the way up to 50, so not a ton of change, but just a little bit here and there. And then Horn Leech, this might be the biggest change. Horn Leech HP recovery going up by 3% at that top end, 18% of max HP being recovered now to 21% of max HP recovered. In like combination with Trevenant's passive of recovery, this Pokemon is like the new big bad defender. It is so strong. Like Ho-Oh was around, now Tree is back. How you feeling about this defender? Also, I'm gonna add our cameras on here onto the screen, so just bear with me. But go ahead and talk about Tree.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like the only one it left out, I feel like, of the previous like defender buff patch. Like Tree did feel a little like left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Um giving stun or I my face just covered it as I looked at the patch notes. It, for curse is crazy.
Yeah.
I one thing I didn't think Trevenant needed was more stunning, but who am I guess, to judge that one. I mean, this is quite a lot to our dear friend Trevenant,
Yeah.
so it's
Mhm.
been a little difficult playing into that guy, and I've been seeing it quite a bit. So I think Trev players are feeling fantastic. It has been a while, not like that long, but a little while since Tree has been this meta,
Yeah.
I would say.
Agreed. Agreed. It's I feel like it never fell off, you know? Like it was always just
Right.
solid, but now it's back. Top of the totem pole, if you
Yes.
will. I yes, well I think the curse change is probably too strong in tandem with Horn Leech. I will say I'm happy that it's made Curse Pain Split viable again. I think I was talking about
Ooh.
this with somebody on Twitter, but one of my favorite tanks from League of Legends, no free shoutouts, Riot, please send me my money. Um, I really love Drain Tank, so Swain is one of my favorite characters to play in League, and so Pain Split Curse Trevenant feels very akin to a moveset I like. So I like that with Trevenant. However, yeah, Curse is very good, and we pair it with Horn Leech. Ay. That thing's busted. So yeah. Hey, if you want to win some games, play some Tree. Let's. I've always said defenders are probably the best class, by the way. If you are struggling to get wins in solo queue, you will always have the most impact on any of your matches if you are playing a Pokemon like a tank, or if you're sometimes like top laners. I would say those are like
Mhm.
probably the two. You start fights, that's what you're in charge of. You peel for the most damage on your team and your carries, like play tanks. If you want to impact your games quite a bit. If you're not doing great, play attackers. Anyway, let's move on to the next Pokemon. Take a ton. Love this change, by the way. SmackDown getting our rework that I mentioned near the start of the episode. Take a ton. SmackDown got the China treatment, so it got reworked. Now you can move while charging SmackDown, and the swung hammer also deals damage. So if you just one tap this when someone dives on you, whoever jumps on you is in for a world of trouble. They don't know how much damage. They're getting hit by the rock. They're getting hit by the SmackDown damage. And then what if they're getting stunned as well? Well, probably not because they need to get to the value point. But still, you're getting some crazy chain hits on Tinkaton. Plus, of course, the boosted attacks and everything is so strong. But okay, SmackDown changes. Absolutely fantastic. Ice Hammer, a viable good move now, by the way. Can now be aimed at a designated area. Thank you. You can actually change the depth of this
Incredible.
aim. It's amazing. Damage going up by 20%. It's very good. I'm kind of shocking at how low it was before. Then we get into the weird ones. So Thief is like the movement speed is getting a decrease. So you used to be able to run a little bit faster, going from 25% down to 20%, 50% to 40%. Yeah, see chat saying that it was unnecessary. Probably. Like, you probably didn't need to take a ton with a Thief nerf. It was definitely the better moveset. Like, it feels like this change was like, hey, play Ice Hammer. Was this
Yes.
patch. Not that the Thief moveset was too good for the Pokemon, but like it was probably just like, please play the other one. So yeah, not in love with that because I still like playing Thief. I've actually found every moveset with Gigaton fun right now. Like Double Hammer is fun, like
Uh-huh.
Ice Hammer and Gigaton. But SmackDown Ice Hammer is a blast. So having a ton of fun with that moveset. How about you? Have you got to see or play any Tinkaton after these changes?
I really haven't seen it very much. I think I
Mhm.
was watching Jen Marvel, who was
Oh
like
yeah.
a Tinkaton aficionado
Mm-hmm.
pre this buff. So I know she has been smurfing and having a lot of fun with it and makes it look, so broken, if
Uh-huh.
I'm being honest. But I just feel like Tink really has not had a time to shine like at all. So I'm glad we're making, half of her kit usable now. Despite the thief nerf being a little like weird, I doesn't seem like it's like gutted by any
No.
means.
Yeah.
So I like this for Tink. I don't think it's pushing it over the edge by any means, but it was like extremely needed, and I
Mhm.
hope she has more of a place in the meta now.
True. I also hope she gets more Hollowware because I like the Christmas one. It just feels
Yeah.
weird to have been playing with a Christmas skin all summer, but whatever. Okay, let's move along. Okay. Venusaur,
Ugh.
welcome back to the metagame, my friend. Stats increase across the board. Tons of defense buffs. Spadef as well. HP also increase at the top end, of course, as they've been changing all these attackers, right? They're not really adjusting the early game of them, but the late game definitely. Solar Beam, additional damage. It used to do 7.5% additional damage from the opponent's max HP, now up to 12.5% of the opponent's max HP added on to the Solar Beam damage, which is already exceptionally high because Venusaur is a late game scaler, as well as it pairs really well with Sludge Bomb, which decreases the SPDF of an enemy target. So Venusaur is exploding, folks, with Solar Beam right now. I've been getting hurt by this Pokemon.
Me. It's exploding me.
Yes, yeah, it feels like they're targeting the Overdunk host specifically with this moveset. Me and Tink, and with my Thief,
weird.
And with Thief debuffed, I can't get out of the Solar Beam range. It's a whole thing. I got Ice Hammer away now. So yeah, it's a mess, but Venusaur is very strong right now. Feels like you can still play Bulbasaur in lane. Razor Leaf, it's not the best secure move in the world, but it does crit. And so you have a chance of stealing away some of that early farm. You can hit a couple of those mobs, especially the ones that like kind of line up beside each other, or the Natus in top, or the ones that are beside, or the Buttlebees beside each other in bot. So feels like an okay Pokemon right now. How are you feeling about Venusaur?
Dude, get this guy out of my lobbies, man. Even Petal feels like Petal Dance builds feels like so annoying.
With the defense all tuned up. Yeah,
giving it HP is like an inherent buff to like Giga. Like I just was like, it just feels like it's everywhere. And yeah, if I even get like touched by the Sludge Bomb, like I'm getting KO'd. Like if the beam is hitting me, I'm done for. It feels, especially with the ult combo, I mean, dear God, man, like it is a lot of damage coming out of that guy. And Venu wasn't really in like the worst place ever. It just feels like they cranked it up to 1 million.
Yeah, it feels like we're gonna get like a chest reward skin for Venusaur or something.
I freaking guess. I mean, I would love like a cool Venu skin. Yeah. Like make this worth it for me at least, please. Like
please.
At least make them like look cute while they're spinning on me and KOing me. But this feels like, I think, too much.
Yeah, I think so too.
My limited ultra lobby experience, but we'll see.
So I agree with you. The one thing I actually think would be kind of interesting if they wanted to nerf Venusaur, I think you could reel back a little bit on the additional Solar Beam damage, which would be fine. But oh wow, that's funny. It's at 50%, 57% pick rate right now in ranked. I do think another interesting change to Venusaur to tune it back a little bit is decrease the slow on Sludge Bomb. I think it would be kind of cool just to have like a little bit more counterplay to the beams, right? You can try to be better at sidestepping them if you're not getting slowed all the time. I think that would be kind of interesting. Sure. Because I don't know, I kind of like Venusaur being a late game like monster when it comes to damage. I think that makes sense almost. Like it just feels
for sure
like flavor, but just also like 3-stage evolution. Like I don't know, it just feels like kind of what they want out of a Pokemon like Venusaur. So I don't mind it being a damage bomb. I just wish it was a little bit easier to avoid getting triple beam comboed, exploded from the power of the sun. So yeah, I would like that to change. That'd be great.
That would be great.
Okay, let's go on to the next Pokemon. Well, let's go through some of these kind of quick. Armarouge, despite getting the Battle Pass, not a ton of great buffs. Armor Cannon doing 50% more damage is good, but they gotta amp that up if they want Armor Cannon to be a relevant move, unfortunately. While it is, I will die on this hill, maybe my favorite plus upgrade of any move ever. It is so fun. They do need to change something with Armor Cannon. I'm not too sure, but Flame Charge also getting a change. Sure, you can do Fire Spin, Flame Charge right now. It's actually kind of fun, but anyway. Inteleon getting some stat buffs. This Pokemon, I feel like they finally got to a point where they nerfed it enough that it was hurt with kind of that rework to the critical hits. They did help you out with a bit in the cooldown department. Acrobatics and Snipe Shot both getting half a second cooldown. It's made it better, so great. We'll see. More to be seen on Inteleon. Attacker that has not gotten a ton of changes. However, this feels like another fun change, but maybe not meta-relevant one. Delphox Flame Charge, doing 30% more damage, and also the movement speed increase going from 1.5 seconds long to 2 seconds long. So Delphox schmovin' even more. I like that they're changing this moveset. It's the fun moveset to play and to play against. Playing against the other moveset is like pulling teeth. So I'm happy they're changing this for Delphox. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I did actually play it one game because I
Yep.
really liked Delphox. I really liked it when Flame Charge was even kind of more meta.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun, but they got to make that dash like 4 times as long if I'm gonna actually get away from anything.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Here's my idea for the flame charge. I'm just full of ideas today. Here's my idea for flame charge. I think instead of making it longer, you give it like a second instance. So you could dash once or twice. You could press the button again, and you could change your direction in between the 2 dashes.
That
so you
would
could
be
like
so sick.
You could like go back and forth, like, shoot a mystical
Really hit your mic. You really, really hit it. He was moving way too hard.
Yeah, I did punch my microphone for any of those watching at home. I did just hit it with my fist. So my apologies, podcast listeners. I really like the idea of 2 flame charges. Anyway, more ideas later. Okay, Ho-Oh getting some nerfs. I feel like these ones are kind of felt. Flamethrower doing less damage is felt. Tailwind early damage secure going down by 15%, sure. Zacian getting damage nerfs as well. I mean, yeah, this thing's got one of the best win rates in the game. You should keep changing that. So correct.
Clearly not enough.
Clearly not enough. You got to nerf Metal Claw, I think. Sacred Sword's fine.
I agree.
Sacred Sword is mid now. Sacred Sword is not a good move. Nerf.
It's the claw.
Yeah, the claw. Change the claw.
Exactly.
Needs to be corrected. Okay, Galarian Rapidash. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Galarian Rapidash. Early game, taking some hits. Bummer.
Yeah, it's not bad. Smart Strike.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Smart Strike's still a broken move. Still a broken move.
They're really trying to keep us down.
Yeah, it's true. But hey, score comp, this thing's still viable. Put an amulet coin on this thing. Going nuts.
Ooh.
Okay, Latios.
I will.
I will. Latios getting some changes too. Yeah, I feel like the Dragon Pulse changes is correct. They're going to do everything they can to make the meat Eeyores better. So Dragon Pulse nerfs are one of those aspects they could do. That's huge. Okay, the biggest balance patch of the entire thing. Improvements to in-battle communication features. The Check It Out quick chat can no longer be used on allied Pokemon, as it was often used for negative purposes to criticize teammates. Before I say anything about this, how do you feel about this change?
As someone whose favorite ping might have been checking outing their teammates when I was like maybe disagreeing with their like macro choices, I will say I was using it for nefarious purposes. It was negative. I will own up to that. When the change came into effect, it was maybe my second game. I was map open ping over my ally trying to ping them, and I was like, oh,
what?
Well, maybe this is why they don't let me do this anymore, because I was ready to go.
Yeah.
It is actually really interesting, just like from a balance perspective. I can't remember whose video I was watching, but it might have been Slash who was like, wow, this like is a change that actually feels like it's coming from someone who's like playing the game. Like this is something that like is almost like surprising.
A dev picked up the game to try for the first time in years, and was like, "Why is everyone checking out pinging me? We're changing this."
Yeah, it's just kind of like a fun. Like I don't know. Like it's not something I really like. Just with the thanks pinging of it all, like pings have been, I don't know, haunting us since this game came out. So it's just kind of like funny and also like nice to be like, oh, they actually kind of like know what we're doing, which they should, but it's not always reflected. And the ping change, I think, has been like a funny instance of that. So I like this honestly because, like I said, like I am, main criminal in this activity of
Mhm.
doing this, so I totally get it. Have I pinged the ground next to my teammates to replace the effect? I will not disclose, but I know it's also brought up some like unintentional. Like I know the big thing is you can't ping your goal zones anymore, and like
While someone's
you
on
used
it,
to.
right? Yeah.
Oh, it's just while someone's on it?
I thought
I
so.
haven't tried. I
I
haven't
guess I
tried at
just kind of
all.
assumed that. I assumed it was like while someone was standing on it, it wouldn't let you ping the goal. But yeah.
I thought it was just like the goal in general because I have done that before, like defend our goal zone if I
Mhm.
like
Oh yeah, totally.
know they're running that way.
Mhm.
I'll have to try it out, but I've been hearing reports that it doesn't work.
Oh, okay. That's what our
Yeah,
chat's
I
saying
don't think
too.
you.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, our
I don't
chat's
think
saying
you
you
can
can't
ping
ping
them
it
at
at all.
all.
Interesting. Okay, that feels more like a bug than a feature, I think.
For sure.
Like, I think that is a unintentional part of this change. And hopefully that gets corrected in a bug fix soon because, yeah, that makes sense. That should happen, and I think it should. So, yeah, I
Hmm.
think it'll be alright. I think it'll be alright. Don't want to worry about it too much,
For
everybody.
sure.
It'll get changed eventually. Right now, it is annoying though. But okay, my opinions on it. I freaking love it. I I play this game with new players. I would say decently often, like probably like once a month. I'll like find a new group of people or like some
Oh,
friends or something. I'll just like play a couple games with them, right? They're like, "Hey, you're into this game. I want to try the game you're into." I'm like, "Sure." It sucks. Like sitting on a couch, I'll play playing on my phone, somebody playing on a Switch, and they're getting check it out pinged. They might not notice or like when it's happening, but I just feel bad. You know what I mean? Like
oh, yeah,
and listen, I get it. Like there's the MOBA truthers out there are like, whatever, trial by fire. Like,
yeah.
hell or high water, figure it out. And they and it's and I, I see you. I don't empathize with you at all. I just want I want some of our players to have a better experience, and I think overall it will be a better experience. So yeah, I'm all for this change. Fix the goal zone ping, of course, but other
For
than that,
sure.
I'm a big fan of it. So yeah, W changes. Um, did want to mention this in terms of other changes that were happening. Unite put out a tweet about I think the Japanese put on out, and then like the morning after the English Pokemon Unite account put up a tweet. I'll just read it out so everybody knows. So to maintain a healthy battle environment, a system is in place to detect in battle inactivity and apply penalties accordingly. However, we've confirmed an issue where some play styles that involve low action frequency, looking at all our Comfey players, such as strategic waiting or the play styles of certain Pokemon, jump pad or Comfey players are the two things we're referring to here, are being unintentionally flagged, resulting in a loss of fair play points. The issue can be temporarily avoided by controlling your Pokemon at least once every several seconds. We are currently working on a fix for this issue. We apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate your patience while the issue is resolved. Here's the thing. This is a great change, a great thing that Unite is even trying to do this. This has been one of the biggest community calls forever, long before the community ambassador program even started. There was the calls to please punish griefers, punish AFKs more, please somehow. And this is a very clear evidence we have of a system in game attempting to do that much more frequently and much stricter. Awesome. W. However, the road to paved in good intentions or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
There are some changes here. The two most notable ones, Confei players were losing fair play points because they were just sitting on their allies. That is Gosh, I find it funny for I think the Pokemon that I have one total game on, I think the only one on the entire roster that I've only played once, and it was in a custom game one time for a streamer event. But anyway, um,
Oh, yeah.
uh-huh, I think you were in that same game. Um,
Yes.
but so yeah, yeah. There's conflict players out there. I should be kind. Whatever. The other thing is you can't sit on your jump pad to defend goal zones anymore, or at least you have to be moving on the jump pad, or else they're gonna pull you off, and you're like, oh
Yeah,
crap.
you move pretty fast. That one
It's
did
like a
happen to
second
me.
and a half to 2 seconds of just inactivity sometimes, and it's like, oh, I'm off. Okay, great. I gotta look alive. Or even if you're like sitting in tall grass, like waiting to pull off an ambush, and all of a sudden you're like, boop, boop, boop. You're like, no. So yeah, hopefully they change this soon. It sounds like they're working on it quickly. You know, I honestly think this is a pretty drastic enough change that the game will be like, okay, we're just gonna revert it if we can't figure it out soon. So I have a hunch this will be fixed like within a day or two. I don't think it'll go
Wow.
too far off that. That's just my hunch. Who knows? They could take a long time, but it feels like anytime they put an announcement out like this, it's like, hey, we're changing it quick. Don't worry. So,
that is true. I've really liked and appreciated all of not only like the hot fixes to Regidrago XP and Palmot, but just like, hey, we just like know this is happening. This is how you can stop it from happening if you're having issues. Like, we're working on it.
Yep.
And just like an acknowledgement of the issue, even if it's not like fully solved yet, I feel like is actually like crazy that we've gotten so much communication.
Yeah.
It's been really nice.
They're working on our game again. It's so evident that that is the case.
Tell.
We actually have a team on our game.
So crazy.
And it's awesome. This is a really fun time to be a fan of Unite. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's interesting too. We're gonna end the episode soon here, but I did want to like kind of have one final discussion. I think we saw like a decent amount of talk online these last couple of weeks about how the game, it's weird because it feels like it is in a pretty balanced state right now. It doesn't feel like there's too many busted mons. And even if there is, we still have draft and ranked eventually in Masters. It's rumored, but start a season, it takes a while for you to start getting draft games. But either way, you have ban face. And then like, but the other half of that coin is that there's a glaring role that feels pretty absent for many of the top level play outside of maybe 1 or 2 Pokemon and the attacker role. Like it's kind of crazy that it's like the game feels pretty fair and balanced and I have a lot of options to play. Just none of those Pokemon have a red background, which I think is kind of bizarre.
Yeah, I have found because I've almost like I felt this way when Thea first came out. Like I definitely like struggled to find like a mon that I felt like successful playing. Like at first I was like, okay, like this hasn't been like too bad of a climb, but then I just had like such a bad run on like I just have like been like perma losing on like everything. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do here. So I definitely feel like the new map changes like growing pains.
Yes, I think so too.
But I do like, I don't know. I just feel like mages have been in a pretty bad place for a long time, and I think the prospect of this map was like, and the patch we got right before it was like buffing a lot of the attackers. It was like, okay, it's gonna be like attacker time, and that is just clearly not been the case
not
at
yet,
all.
right? Like maybe we'll start to see things develop or change a little bit, but yeah, on paper it's feeling like not. And Niwa kind of echoing my thought there too, saying, hey, like this has happened before, so maybe we'll start to see it. But yeah, currently right now in the exact state of the game we're recording this episode in, it does not feel that way.
Yeah, they just need to buff Spoon again, and then attackers will be good again.
Oh, what a dangerous monkey's paw! Like a Pandora's box that is. But
I do feel like that was like kind of the turning point. Like Spoon nerf, like attackers have just gone.
Spoon is.
It's just been difficult, but I do. It's like we were kind of discussing earlier. Like it hasn't even been a week since this map has been out. Like I personally have only been playing on it like a couple days, so there's definitely still a lot more to learn, but it does feel like it's like kind of a community consensus. Like mages are struggling and speedsters are like thriving.
Right. Yeah. I wish that people would tell that to my randoms. I think I've had Decidueye in 95% of my games. It is remarkable. Like it is by far the Pokemon I've seen the most this season, which is kind of, I only played it once, so but I did play it.
I've been getting Scythers everywhere. I don't know what was happening. Maybe it was Saturday when I was playing. I was like, Peru, you guys did this. I don't know. I was just running into all the Scyther players.
You and Santos Laguna, the two of you somehow popular.
This was our doing.
Unfortunately.
I don't know, man. I have just, but like speedsters in general, just is like every game I'm against a speedster. I'm like, bro, there's not enough speedsters for you to be in my lobbies this much. This is not okay.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Yeah, it's a crazy world out there. I'm sure the meta will rapidly change. We'll be talking about a completely different meta next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we're gonna have
I'm gonna. Yeah,
it's
who
always that
knows?
way. And who knows what we get? I mean, we have Empoleon coming in what, literally like 2 weeks or less than
Oh
that?
God.
Is it less than two
Yeah,
weeks?
I think I wrote it
I
down.
forget. It's like I think it's
Let me
either
check my
mid-month or the end of
calendar.
the month. I forget, but
It's
very,
September
very soon.
19th. 10
10
days.
days. 10 days we get Empoleon. Oh my word, that Pokemon looks fun. Special attack, like crit-based Pokemon, like okay. And Melee, this is gonna be a very fun Pokemon. Wanted to talk about this really quick before we drop off our episode. The last thing on our docket. LAIC is coming up somewhat soon, and the reason I kind of bring it up is that the announcement for signups are pretty soon. So if you're interested in playing Pokemon Unite at the Latin America International Championships in Brazil, signups for it are pretty soon. I think all of the ICs this year slated are supposed to be just open signup. So just like if you want to play, this is going to be one of the best ways to have an open tournament signup. So if you're jumping in and you are going to compete, you get all this cool swag. Now, I know a lot of it's TCG themed. I know every game complains about that, but it's okay because even playing Unite, you get some cool stuff. All of this one is Venusaur and Mega Venusaur themed, which looks really, really cool. And I got to admit,
It's clean.
the pin for the competitor, it's very small on your screen right now. I'm so sorry. That pin is so cool. As a big pin guy, like, I have two of the pin binders, like the one from Anaheim this year and the one from Honolulu last year, and both of them have pins in them. I'm so excited about that pin. With the Megastone and Venusaur on it, it looks awesome. So, I can't wait. Looks really cool. The hat, low-key, looks great. So, yeah, LAIC stepping up their game this year in terms of swag. So, yeah, people, come out, check it out. I guarantee the spectator stuff will be the cool too. I know LASC doesn't usually have a Pokemon Center like pop up, but still some cool stuff. So people, sign up for LAIC. Come out to the event. It's going to be awesome. Caster announcement did go out for it, by the way. I don't know where the website is. Not on the Twitter, but it's like on the website. I will be casting LAIC. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be such a fun event. Sao Paulo is an amazing city. I was in love with it last time I got to go visit, so I am pumped to go back. And I mean, it's hard to beat Latin America esports crowds. It just is. So I can't wait to go hear the LAC crowd pop off for Unite again. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah.
I know. I wish I could be there, but I've
And hey,
traveled too much for Unite
maybe
so far
Bridget
this
will.
year.
Maybe Bridget will. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, TBD. I don't think I'll be camping this time,
We're
but
gonna
I
need a
guess I
whole
should make
lot of
sure before I say that.
We're gonna need a whole lot of people to donate to that Overdunk Patreon. We're really
Yeah,
gonna need
yeah.
to reel in that cash for flight to Sao Paulo.
Yeah, hold space for that.
Hold space.
Thank you.
Or you get signed to one of these new esport league teams, maybe, and they pay your way. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, I am LFT.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Bridget, LFT for LAIC. I love it. Awesome. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the live stream of the episode. If you're watching this in podcast land, or on YouTube, especially on YouTube, please let us know what Pokemon do you think is the biggest winner of the patch, and what's your favorite part of the Groudon map? Where, who knows? Maybe what Pokemon you're most excited for to see added to the game, because I can't wait to talk more about Delmice. Hopefully next week's episode, we'll see. But that Pokemon actually looks so unbelievably cool. Bridget, anything to plug before we get out of here?
I'm doing a giveaway of a Palmot license on my Twitter. You just have to like and retweet it. I'm gonna draw the winner on Friday, so there's still some time on that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah.
My Twitter's Big Bridget.
Okay. Follow at Break. Okay.
Oh,
We started the episode bad. We're ending the episode bad. That's what I'm talking about, everybody.
Yeah.
I'll pull the dupes next. My plug is to go follow at Big Bridget on Twitter. Other than that, yeah, not too much to plug. It's a lot of cool community events. If you want to see competitive play on the Groudon map, I think Overdunk is firing tournaments, I think weekly right now with all the new hype for the new map and everything. So go check that out on Steel Agent Kyle's Twitch channel on Thursdays, or join their Discord. They got some really cool stuff going on there. And obviously seeing tournament matches on the new map is so hype. So make sure to go check that out. But otherwise, we'll see you all next week, Dunkheads, when we're getting prepped for Empoleon to get added to the game. We'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.
Bye.